Welcome back to the Vision High School Sports Beat. Time now for our Dunkin' Donuts Coaches Corner, and it is our extreme pleasure to be joined by Darrell Barley, the head basketball coach here at East High. Darrell, good to see you. Look, you got a really long history at East High from the time you were a student here. What was it like to still be the guy here?
Well, it's so strange. I've been here since, 7th grade, 1987, 87, 88. And, it's still a pleasure to come into the building and see the trophies and see the pictures of some of the teachers I had and administrators. So I'm just happy to be here.
You played under the legendary Sal Rizzo and, what was kind of a golden age for high school basketball in these parts. What was that like?
Oh, well, if Rizzo really liked the player, he knew, pinpointed those guys when they were young in the 7th, 8th grade. And if you played varsity before you were a junior, you were going to have some type of greatness in your career at East High School. So, and everybody knew your name, because you were the younger guy with the older guys. And Rizzo was the guy who gave you that pass to hang with the top players in Rochester.
How did he make that work? Because he wasn't a physically imposing guy. I mean, like yourself and Trent Jackson, who you would be, coaching against and the like. How did that all work?
Coach Rizzo was a tough guy. He was a nice guy, but he was tough. Some of the guys I played with, Art Long and Terrence Mitchell, those guys were hard, sometimes difficult to coach. But Coach had this presence where he was like E.F. Hutton. When he talked, we all listen.
I think you've got that too. And I consider you kind of an old school coach. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. I'm from the, a lot of things that Rizzo did and Coach Franklin did, I kind of implemented into, how I go about my business coaching. But also, with college coach John Beeline, who's the head coach at Michigan, and John Treelor from the CBA, they kind of gave me a different philosophy. So I try to, combine all those things together and use it, during my coaching career.
It's kind of nice to have those names to drop and say that they were an influence on me, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just to be in the same room with those coaches and also to play for them and just see how their mind work and the way they think and how they, will coach some of their better players and get them to uplift players who weren't as good.
Was the fact that you were a star here give you a little extra clout, you think, as a coach at East?
Yeah, well, now with YouTube, back when I played, it wasn't too many things on YouTube, but more and more things are starting to come up. But on YouTube is more of the negative things that I did on the court. I think it's one video on YouTube where my shot was blocked at the end of the game, and the kids talk about that all the time against Iona. So like a lot of things that are being brought up on YouTube aren't the things that I would like to show them.
Well, what would you like to show them? Your time at Canisius here.
A couple dunks, a couple putbacks, maybe a three or a nice layup or a nice move to the basket. But, it was a little bit after my time, and people can put up whatever they want to put up about, about me.
Would you agree with the assessment that maybe coaches in the city, especially coaches of young men in the city, bear a little more responsibility for what happens outside the court than maybe the guys who are sitting out in the county?
Well, those guys do a great job, and I would gather that they have other challenges, maybe with parents and things of that nature that I may not, have to fight through. But in the city, it is kind of tough. But, that's the environment that God put me at, to help people from the city, from the inner city. And I'm a product of that environment. And if I can do it, I'm pretty sure that a lot of kids that I coach could make it through. And we have those stories in which kids have made it through, the problems that can occur in the inner city.
Well, it's nice to recognize that you have that kind of impact, though. You're an important guy here.
Well, I think everyone, within this building is very important. I think teachers that come in every day, the administrators come in every day to deal with kids with different problems, to make a change in their life. Our TLI program, culinary arts program, is changing a lot of our students' lives about work, about looking towards the future and being successful. Basketball is one piece of it, and if you could just touch one kid or one student, one scholar, I think we're doing our job.
Coach, good to see you again.
Great to see you. Always
Darrell
a
Barley,
pleasure.
East High basketball coach, our guest on the Dunkin' Donuts Coaches Corner.